Hello class. We are going to review our week of distance learning, starting with day 1 of 7.3, where we're distributing across parentheses. Remember, we are going to multiply the front numbers, and we are going to add the exponents. So first here I'm going to multiply 3 times 4 to get 12, but then the x's I add together to get x to the 5th. Next I distribute the 3x squared to the negative 2x squared and get negative 6x to the 4th, because I have 2 x's and 2 x's make 4 x's. Then I'm going to distribute the 3x squared all the way over to the 5x. 3 times 5 is 15. That's positive, so I put a plus 15. And I have 2 x's in front represented by x squared, 1 x behind, so that's x to the 3rd. Lastly, I distribute the 3x squared to the 2. There's no x's back here, so we're just going to end up 3 times 2 is 6, and the x squareds come along for a ride. And we've written it in standard form, which is where the biggest exponent group is in front, working our way down to the smallest exponent group, which is x squared. Next, we're going to review number 18 from day 1. This time we're distributing a parentheses with a set of 2 terms to a parentheses with a set of 3 terms. So I'm going to FOIL. In order for me to do this and keep track of what I'm doing, I'm going to start with the x here, and I'm going to distribute it to each one of those, put them in order, and then distribute the 2 to each one, and then I'll put like terms together. So here I have x, which is really x to the 1st, times another x. There's no front numbers, so my answer is a 1 in front, but I don't have to write anything. And there's 1x and 2 x's makes x to the 3rd. Then I distribute the x to the 4x. There's a positive here and a positive here, so that's a plus. There's 2 x's, so it's 4x squared. Next I distribute the x to the 1. Well, 1x times 1 is just 1x. So we have a plus 1x. That's for the first group. Now I'm going to move on to the second group. I'm going to multiply the 2 times the x squared and get 2x squared. Then I'm going to distribute the 2 to the 4x. 2 times 4 is 8, so we're going to end up with plus 8x here. Then finally I'm going to multiply 2 times 1, which is 2. The next step is I need to put like terms together. So anything that has an x to the 3rd goes with x to the 3rds. There isn't, so that just drops down to x to the 3rd. I have a plus 4x squared here and a plus 2x squared there. They combined. The x squareds stay where they're at, but the 2 and the 4 become a 6x squared. Then I have x to the 1st, so I drop that down. It doesn't go with anything else. And then it does. It goes with the 8, so that's actually a 9, easy to correct. That goes with that one. Notice that I'm underlining these. The 1x has 2 underlines, the 8x has 2 underlines, and the last one I'll put 3 under there. And there's nothing, double check, that goes with the 2. So that's a plus sign. And that's my answer. So now our mission is to factor. So we're going to pull out the common factors. I have x to the 3rd here, minus x squared minus 30x. Is there anything they have in common? Yes, they all have an x. So I'm going to first pull out an x and put it on the outside of the parentheses, and then put what's left on the inside. X to the third becomes x squared becomes x, and negative 30. Then I bring down my two sets of parentheses because there's x squared, so I'm going to have two parts. And then I'm going to try to figure out what multiplies to make negative 30 but adds to make a negative 1. So when I think of my factors, the first thing that comes to mind is 3 and 10. Well, 3 and 10 are not 1 apart, although they would make 30 or negative 30. Next I think of 5 and 6. Now to get a negative 30, one of them has to be negative. And because this is a negative 1, the bigger one has to be negative. So I'm going to call it negative 6 plus a positive 5 gives me negative 1. Negative 6 times 5 gives me negative 30. So up here I'm going to put my two x's. One of them is going to be negative. I'm going to put the 6 in there. One of them is going to be positive. I'll put the 5 with that. And let's double check. X times x is x squared. Negative 6 times 5 is negative 30. And negative 6x plus a positive 5 equals negative 1x. So there's my answer. The last problem we're going to do is 7.3, day 3, number 4. Again, here we're going to distribute. So we're going to multiply 2b squared times 4b. So it's 2 times 4, which gives us 8. And then a b squared and a b to the first add together to give us b to the third. And then 2b squared times 3. 2 times 3 is a positive 6. There's no b's back here to add to these two b's, so it's going to be b squared. So our answer is 8b to the third plus 6b squared. Now that we've learned, it's time to earn. Make sure that you do two parts. You're going to enter in your packet scores and you're going to take the quiz. Good luck.